Like, again, you can't be oblivious. You can't lie to yourself and be like, no, everything's fine. Rose-colored glasses. No, he knows he's in hell. There's the ghouls. There's people hanging from trees. There's death. There's carnage. There's agony. There's pain. You can't say that you're at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
You're there. Why do you want to focus on it?
Right.
Why do you want to be like, oh, damn, like I can see his guts and I can see this. It's just like, you're going through hell. Whatever. Just keep going.
Diego, welcome, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. How's it feel? How's it feel to be here?
In a proper, legitimate studio of this caliber, it feels odd, man. I'm not used to it.
Nah, it's I try to make it as cozy as possible because I like cozy. I like all we need here. The last thing we need to add is a fireplace.
Oh wow, you should have one of the little ones that,
right?
that kind of turn on right there.
Yeah. Just roast some marshmallows while we do a podcast.
I'd be down.
Talk about ghosts.
We could do that.
Like we get a cabin in Big Bear or something.
Only if we snuggle.
Yeah, there you go. I'll bring a blankie.
I was gonna say the blankies that we could both fit inside of those.
Well, so for those who don't know, you're George Merlos' younger
son.
It's how many brothers total? 3?
Mm-hmm.
Got
so
it.
George is the oldest.
Yeah.
Mike is in the middle, and then I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest. That's right, because Mike's
Correct.
in the middle.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Did you hear the George Merlos one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw the whole thing multiple times. I commented on it.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah.
He was dude, he's just so open about the stories and everything, and kind of brought me back to those old Rebel days.
Yeah, man. He that was my introduction to 80s music, to house parties, to house music.
Okay.
We've always hung out together.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he would be taking me to house parties when I definitely should not have been.
Yeah.
10, 11 years old.
Right.
We all grew up on Elvis, James Dean. So we always liked like the 50s stuff.
She's James Dean.
Yeah. I saw that when I came in.
Yeah.
So that was always part of our upbringing.
Yeah.
Right. And then again, Jorge was a rebel in high school, had friends who were like greasers and stuff like that. So again, I'm in 10, 11 listening to Morrissey, Depeche Mode, The Cure. So very early on, I was into like that type of music and stuff like that.
Isn't it funny now how bands like Morrissey and Depeche Mode, now they're cool again? Now it's like the people who normally wouldn't have been in this music, now they're going. It's legit again.
Yeah.
And we're like, come on now, we've been sporting that since we were toddlers.
I have had all the band T-shirts. I used to get them from everythingenglish.com.
I think I was born in a Morrissey T-shirt when I came out.
Yeah,
I was wearing. Yeah, I was like, who's Morrissey? I said, I don't know, but it fits me.
Yeah, like it just fits so comfortable.
Yeah, it fits so comfortable. Yeah, I grew into it.
Yeah, eventually,
just like you.
Yeah.
Hey, so how was you just got fresh off of how many house parties of the '90s events have you done? Because you just did the recent one in Pomona.
So yeah, we did that was the Halloween event.
Okay,
that we did in Pomona.
Right.
Yeah, that was House of Madness 3.
How was that? Because I saw Cazelle was there.
That was for the anniversary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we had the House of Madness in Pomona at the Cosmo, which was last month. And then just Saturday at Sage and Whittier, we had the anniversary.
And that's the one Cazelle was at?
Yeah, that's the one that Cazelle was at.
He gets down, huh?
Dude.
Yeah.
It's funny because he is such a nice, down-to-earth, humble guy.
Yeah, he is.
And George and I he has a spot in Rialto called Soldi's, right? Mm-hmm. So we went to go shoot like a promo. And as I was walking towards the back, one of our DJs was there, and I could just see like his face. He was just like super happy. And Jorge's just like, damn, dude, he's sick.
Yeah.
And then Miguel even talked to him, and he told him that he had gotten one of his CDs at a swap meet when Miguel was, we still lived in Heritage, so Miguel was no more than like 13.
Yeah.
And I remember that actual like CD, and I remember the image on it. So I already was familiar with.
Was it that cartoon image of him with scratching? Yeah.
So I was already familiar with him, but again, seeing it live, seeing it in person, dude, he's really, really dope.
Yeah.
So when we did the promotion video, the promotional video, super cool guy, like really down to earth. And then to see him, I saw him spin there, right? And I was like, dude. And then at the event, dude, he killed it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have an appreciation for people who can perform, for creatives who can perform in any aspect of it, you know, like painting or whatever it is. But watching him was dope.
Cazelle was on the show.
Oh, yeah?
It was in this studio. It was a studio before. Yeah. So it had to been about maybe two or 3 years ago that he was on. Yeah, and me and Michelle loved him. In fact, we went to go visit him recently at Soldy's when he first opened it. And that's in Rialto off of Riverside, right? Riverside Avenue, I think.
Yeah.
And we went to go watch when Mike Tyson fought this last fight. Yeah. Which was it was just what a fight what that was, but that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, man, he is one of the most humble dudes ever. And he seems to be consistent with that.
When we had our meeting in the ladies' room event, we had a DJ come out from Arizona, DJ Nina.
Yeah.
Dude, she kills it. And she scratches and everything. Yeah. And he was her mentor. And then on the podcast that she did with George, she was, giving him his flowers, very appreciative of the advice that he gave her and stuff like that. Yeah. And when you meet him in person, you see that that's an actual reflection of who he is in real life. Yeah. It's just like, oh man, that's really dope.
What is it that makes these events so special? Because they're very, very unique in the way they're presented and the way they're executed. The fact that all of you were able to bring back that rebel scene, because when you talk to these younger kids and you try to explain how the rebel scene was, very hard.
Yes.
Unless you have video footage or photos, but then there's events like this that bring it back to life, but without the fighting.
Correct. Yeah, I have a nephew he just turned 17.
Okay.
And we would go on hikes and stuff like that, and I'll tell him about the shenanigans we used to get into.
Right.
When I was his age or when I was younger.
Okay.
I don't see many house parties. No, again, obviously I'm in my 30s now, so I'm not around it, but I don't see house party. Again, we used to go from here to there to the next house party to the next house party. We used to go to the street races. We used to go everywhere. And I don't see him doing those things. Right. So the way that I equate it is, again, watch The Outsiders. And again, to an extent, that was part of it.
I feel like everybody has so much crap going on in their lives now that it's like, just another thing. It's like, why fight? That's so 90s. That's so early 2000s. It's like the world was too good. So we had to find a way to, bullshit our way through life. But I feel like there's a lot of heaviness now on a lot of people. So I feel like,
I tell people this. I grew up hood adjacent, right? Never got put on, never got jumped in or anything like that. Never a part of a gang, nothing.
You didn't get branded like a cow on the Wendy's party?
Yeah, I didn't have no cigarette burns on me or anything like that. But we used to hang out with party crews, right? And then party crews, I think, eventually kind of turned into gangs.
Right.
But at the same time, we also grew up in that type of atmosphere where, again, if you're with your friends and there's another group of teenagers or kids your age, sometimes there is that young adult testosterone. Like, what are you looking at? Well, what are you looking at? Right?
Yeah.
And for us, it was kind of like, I got your back, you got mine. But it wasn't like, oh, we're a gang. At least my brothers and I were never part of that. Right. But again, we did have friends who were part of that and who were a little bit more leaning into that. And I specifically remember I was in 7th or 8th grade, right? I wasn't in high school yet. And then I came home. There was always people at our house. And then my brother was introducing one of my friends to somebody else. And he's just like, oh, this is my buddy. This is my buddy. And he looks at him. He's just like, you down or what? And he's just like, what? And he's just like, because we don't kick it with bitches. Which didn't mean, oh, you're going to get jumped in. But it's just like, hey, man, like if we're out and if something happens, can I rely on you to have my back? Because I'm going to have your back. It was more along that lines, right? And again, for my brothers and I, once it started to, again, once you've been shot at on Haven, been shot at in Rialto, again, obviously it depends on your location. But it's just like, man, we, like that's not what we're here for. We're here to have a good time. We're here to talk to girls. We're here to dance. We're here to listen to the music. So with house parties.
But you know that with when it comes to girls, that can be a dangerous territory because
it is a dangerous territory.
You know how young men are with a lot of testosterone and a lot of these cute girls who would play the game, play the cards, maybe play 2 games at one time.
Correct.
And it would start a lot of it, And
a lot of it was, again, like Jorge's a good looking dude, right? So Jorge draws a lot of attention and people don't like that. And guys don't like that. And we are by no means big people. So a lot of times you'll look at George and be like, man, again, he's not a big guy. So you try to bully, you try to punk, you try to step up to somebody.
Right.
And then you end up finding out.
Did you feel like as the youngest brother, and again, I don't know what it's like to be, a younger brother, but did you feel like, they created this the reputation or the image or, the social status? Did you feel like you had to level up to that?
In social settings, in school, in work, I've just always hung on to my brother's coattails.
Yeah.
Like Jorge and Miguel, but a lot when it comes to like business and work and stuff like that, Jorge is a trailblazer, right? The reason I started doing credit is because of Jorge. The reason I got hired out at Wells Fargo is because of Jorge. So he's always trailblazed and just made it a lot easier for me to do stuff, right? So I just grab onto his coattails and help where I can and stuff like that. But again, we're also individuals, right? We're also completely different. So, I mean, I guess a little bit of both, but I never worried. I was never someone who is meek or shy. Mm-hmm. And I've never really been someone who is, I don't know, I guess like quiet or something like that. Again, I'm not very boisterous or anything like that, but I've always been confident. Mm-hmm. I've always been a class clown. So, and I've always made friends easy. But I also like my alone time. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, I go hiking by myself. I go to eat by myself. I work out by myself. I go to the movies by myself. I like my solitude and my alone time, but I very easily mesh well and make friends.
It says a lot about a man who can go to a restaurant and sit there and eat by himself. I love that, because I've done that. Sometimes I'll even go to like the nice restaurant that I want to go to, and I've always wanted to hit this restaurant up. And I'm like, well, why wait for somebody? Just go sit there. And it's so funny because I was, in a suit, by myself. Mm-hmm. I think I was in Seattle. And it's overlooking some lake or they got over there. And I remember the waitresses thinking that I might have been a food critic. Mm. So they upped their game and made sure that I was getting served the right thing. They also gave me a little chocolate, especially from the chef afterwards. They were so attentive. It could have been the restaurant. Yeah. But I was there with my phone. I might as well have taken out a notepad and started
You're
writing.
Like Ratatouille. You're like,
right?
Yeah.
Great movie, by the way.
Banger.
But yeah, man, it says a lot of it when you're able to go to a restaurant and sit there by yourself. That says everything to me about a man or a woman. Just go, enjoy yourself, because when you could learn how to not just cope but enjoy yourself in public settings when there's other people around and you're comfortable with that, I think you're set.
It's very seldom that I'll find someone who says that they can be alone with their thoughts. Mm-hmm. Right, someone's always playing music or a podcast or a book or TV.
Right,
it's like, when was the last time you were just literally alone with your thoughts?
Some people can't do it.
A lot of people can't. Right, I've always strived to be able to do that. And again, I like doing things on my own. I've taken many vacations by myself, like either road trips or like fly out somewhere, and I just roam around.
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoy, again, I don't need to have somebody there. Sometimes it's cool to have somebody there and to add and share an experience with, but it's just like, no, like you said, I want to go see this, so I'm going to go do it.
Yeah.
My friend's 10th annual Thanksgiving, he has a meal prep company where they feed 3,500 to 4,000 plates of food.
Wow.
During the Thanksgiving
That's
week,
awesome.
Right? Mm-hmm. So one of the ladies who was helping out, she helps out every single year. And she was saying, she's like, yeah, like, I just go to hikes by myself and I do things by myself. And I'm like, exactly, because I don't want to wait for anybody.
Right.
During COVID, I was doing a new hike every single week, and people would be like, hey, like, why don't you invite, like, oh, this? And I'm like, because sometimes I'm just like, I'm going to go to Crystal Cove today.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be like, hey, Freddie, you want to go? Yeah, I'll be ready. And like having to wait and do all that stuff.
This is Southern California where people flake all the time. Mm-hmm. So why even bother with that? I mean, especially if you have friends in LA, forget it. Unless you're getting them a job, forget it. There's a 90% chance they're gonna flake on you, not because it's malicious, just because it's a lifestyle here.
It's part of life.
It is, at least here in Southern California. I don't know what it's like in the middle of Nebraska, but
I mean, it could be a little bit more communal, I would assume.
But it's true though, traveling alone, and I think everybody should be able to travel alone at least once in their life. It is awesome.
So I like to be pragmatic about stuff, and then also sometimes I'm just not, right? So one of the things that I would do is I'll get the subscription on a dating app. Mm-hmm. I'll use the passport, and then I will put there, in town from this day to this day. Right. Show me the cool sights. Show me the tasty food. Like, again, basically telling them and making them aware that you're going to be my tour guide. Mm-hmm. I will pay for everything, and no expectations, right? Like, if something happens, fine, but that's not my expectation. I want to go see the sights and I want to taste the food.
So you're using dating apps to find a tour guide?
I would, yeah.
Wow.
I have multiple times.
It's actually kind of smart because you're angling at a way that doesn't, put too much pressure on her.
Correct. And that's one of the things where it's obviously, I'm not swiping just on anybody because you could be my tour guide, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But dude, I went to San Francisco and I don't know if she used to work for this city, but we met at Ghirardelli Square.
Yeah.
So we were at Ghirardelli Square. We rode bikes. We went to, you've seen The Rock with Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery?
Yes,
it's where they have the World Fair.
Yeah.
So we went through there and then we went up to... Amazing. We went to Golden Gate. We biked up there. We did like a bunch of stuff.
And
right?
did you play the Full House song?
Yeah, we went to what is it called? Three Sisters or whatever.
Yeah.
And she knew everything. She's just like, when we went to like Little China or like Little Japan, she's just like, hey, like they donated this after World War II and da-da-da. And I like information, I like history, and I like culture, right? And again, I'd rather have a local spot than like a touristy spot. So I had a really, really good time doing that. Mm-hmm. When I went to El Salvador, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
It was, and she was even more comfortable because I told her, I'm like, yo, I got my buddy with me, just FYI. And again, if you're not up for this, and then she's like, no, that makes it even better because it's more like a group thing, like no pressure. She's like, I'll bring my friend. Dude, she took us to a brewery up in like the hills called El Cadejo. They have a bunch of like stray dogs running around.
Okay. Yeah.
So we had food, we had some drinks there. And then I think either that next day or like the day after or something like that, we went to Playa del Tunco, which is where they have like the surf competitions and stuff like that.
Okay. All right.
So it was her friend, two other guys showed up. We like hung out, went to go eat. Like it was an amazing time. Even when we left, she got my friend and I a shirt from that brewery and a cup. And I still keep in contact with her on Instagram.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's how you make friends around the world.
She lost her job. I knew somebody out there and I was just like, hey, I might be able to hook you up with a job.
Oh, that's dope.
And then so she got an interview. So yeah, man, I'm willing to meet people to be able to get that experience.
I've always felt when you travel to a different country, and I'm speaking just the country, right? You tend to come back a different person a little bit. You come back a little bit more experienced, a little bit wiser. You've seen a little bit more in the world. And it kind of changes your outlook in a positive way, I think, when you come back home and everything looks the same, but now you know a little bit more about how other people live, how other people, the level of frequency they're at and how they move and the speed of life in that city. It's a beautiful thing.
I'm glad that I not necessarily waited that long, but dude, I hadn't been to El Salvador since I was smuggled into the U.S. inside of a pupusa. I was, I got here when I was 1.5.
Yeah.
And for a really long time, it just wasn't safe.
Yeah.
It was not safe to go out there.
Yeah.
But now it's super safe. It's one of the safest countries in the world.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I went at this age because I can appreciate the sacrifice that my parents made.
Right. Yeah.
Because maybe it kind of depends. Obviously, I could have gone when I was in my 20s, but the maturity level and where I'm at mentally and emotionally, I was able to really appreciate because I saw, dude, everybody out there, and I know you and George kind of had this conversation when you went to Guatemala. It's like what I noticed was that everybody out there hustles. Everybody. They are selling. My dad is keeping every coconut man in business, but again, coconuts.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is your dad doing all right with the coconuts?
Dude, he's planning on going, like, I forgot when he said he wants to go in the wintertime out there. But dude, they're selling t-shirts, they are selling cotton, they're selling clothes, they're selling food, every house is a business. And then I have a video and I'm just saying, like, hanging out on a hammock, right? And then, just people driving by, and it's everything. It's not like just food. Again, there was a lady selling Q-tips.
Yeah.
And everybody is hustling, trying to make a living, trying to make a dollar. Like everybody is doing their absolute best to hustle. And I'm like, again, it made me feel like I need to work harder. I need to take advantage of the opportunity that this country and my parents helped provide. Right? So that's one of the things, that was one of my takeaways from visiting El Salvador.
When you were growing up with the family, or just even to this point, you're in your 30s, right?
Yes.
So first of all, I was going to say, isn't it great to be in your 30s?
Absolutely.
For every young man who's listening or watching the show and thinks, oh, I don't want to hit my 30s. I love my 20s. Oh, no. Because the person you start to develop into, the person you become, the maturity about it, the wisdom, the experiences, Isn't it just so much better than it was in your 20s?
Absolutely, man. Again, perspective, the knowledge that I have, the experience that I have.
Right.
Hundreds.
So I just found out, because we talked about this too. You worked at Ontario Airport.
I did.
What'd you do there?
I was a fuel aviation technician.
Dude, that's awesome. Now that was a job for somebody young, your age.
Man.
How did you get that job?
My cousin's friend. Never met the kid, but
okay.
My cousin, because they shut down my position at Bank of America because they got the smart ATMs.
Okay.
So then my cousin said, he's like, hey, this guy that I went to school with, told me about this job. And he's just like, you want to go? And I never met the kid.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, so who referred you? And I was like, I think his name is Bubba. Like, I didn't even know his real name.
Yeah.
And I remember, dude, thinking they were joking with me because they were asking about compensation. I used to get, minimum wage was like $6.25 at that time, right?
Okay, yeah.
At B of A, I used to get paid, I think, like $14.
Okay.
But it was only part-time.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, like how much are you looking to pay? And I'm like, well, at least what I used to make at Bank of America.
Yeah.
And then the guys were, well, we pay $9 an hour. And I thought it was joking.
Yeah.
Jet fuel, big old trucks, Class C license or whatever.
Big responsibility.
No. $9 an hour.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what? And I'm like, so when we're going to learn how to drive these trucks, where do we go? Like, do you guys take us to like a school? They're like, no, just here.
Yeah.
So the way that they got around that is because Ontario Airport is private property.
Right.
So you don't need the B or the C or any of those licenses.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I flipped the fuel truck.
What? Wow. So you're working at Ontario Airport, you're fueling the big airplanes.
Yeah, flight line.
We we fly the Cessnas, we fly the 100LL.
I don't know what those are.
Aviation grade.
So we call them feeders.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are over the wing.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I used to work Friday to Tuesday from 4 till supposed to be 12:30, but the last plane, which was Aeromexico, was always late.
Okay.
Always late. So I used to have to stay later and then have to go to the fuel farm, refill. So I used to get home like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wasn't that cool though, working with big airplanes like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about the flip. What happened?
So we would get, again, so like I would do like 2 planes. I think I used to do United, and it was just so they could taxi.
Like, did you actually set up the hose where the fuel thing comes out? You knew how to do that and everything? Yeah, okay.
So Saturdays, not a lot of flights. Again, the people who came in before me. So I always had like a couple of planes, and then like at 10, I would help with FedEx.
Okay.
So again, Aeromexico, we don't have to do it, supposedly, right? So I'm at our hangar, and then they give us a call like, hey, Aeromexico is just like on its way. And I can see the plane coming, from like Haven.
Yeah.
And then I asked the guy so we had 2 5,000-gallon trucks. Most of them were 10. And then we used to have a big one that was 15. So I told him, I was like, hey, is 58 full? He's just like, yeah, it's full. And I was like, all right. So I'm going down, which is kind of like a service road on like the outskirts.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do the math because you got to convert gallons into pounds.
Right.
It's like 6.7 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
So they give me like fuel loads, and I'm like looking, and I can see the plane, and I'm on my phone. And then when you're going, so Mission in between Haven and Grove, right?
Okay.
You can see like the FedEx if you look.
Yeah.
So again, I'm on those roads right there. And then usually the road will go, like this.
Yes.
And there was like gravel, so you could kind of just go through it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do math. I'm looking at the thing, and like I'm doing stuff. And then I look up, and there's a generator where usually you would be able to go.
Okay.
Which was never there.
Okay.
So when I look up, I just see it, and it's a generator that's huge.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I just started turning the wheel.
Yeah.
And then the truck wasn't full. It was half full. Like I just didn't want to refill it.
Okay.
So when I went like that, all the fuel slid to one side. Yeah. So it like my leg hit the steering wheel, like I tipped, just like slid, climbed out, ran over. And then I remember calling my friend who was doing UPS, and I was just like, yo, and I was like, I flipped 58. He's just like, dude, hurry up. Because we used to get charged $1,000 a minute if we were late.
Okay.
Right?
Jeez.
And then he's just like, hurry up. He's like, I'm almost done here. He's just like, you're not going to have enough with the 5,000, so I'm going to come with the bigger truck till I finish. And then he hung up on me. And then I was just like, so I called him back, and I was like, yo, like I flipped 58. And then he's just, well, then call airport ops. So I called airport ops, and then they were like, Los Angeles World Airports. And I'm like, hey, I'm a fueler with ASIG. I was going westbound on, the service road. And I was like, and I flipped a fuel truck. Like, sir, this is a private line. Like, please don't, call.
Oh,
and I'm like, I work at ASIG.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I flipped a fuel truck.
Yeah.
And dude, it was Ontario fire, LA, the fire, hazmat, police, like everybody was coming. And I remember when they pulled up, they're like, "Where is he?" And I was like,
"Yeah, I would too."
I was hiding behind a feeder, and they're like, "What are you doing over there?" And I was just like, "Hello," and I was just like, "Jet fuel, sparks, fumes, gasoline, kablooey."
Yeah.
And so again, like I have like a big old bruise on my leg. And then the thing that saved me, right, is that company wasn't ran correctly. Okay. We had an health, safety, and whatever person. Yeah. And I would constantly be like, "Yo, like this happened," like you know. And I had a bunch of tickets for stuff that they wouldn't do. So one day I'm fueling, I think it was Alaska, right? So they all have like 737s. Mm-hmm. So for that, you just get on a little 6-foot ladder, and then you literally take the hose and hook it up, and then you just mess with the fuel gauges. Yeah. So I'm looking at the fuel gauges, and they take 85 on each side, right? Okay. 8,500 to balance it out, and then the rest you put in the middle. And then as I go to close one of the fuselages, it's just like someone grabbed a bucket and just threw jet fuel at me. It just went, psh.
What?
Yeah. It just directly in my eyes, right? And I was like, "Oh!" Like almost fell off.
As a joke or what?
No. It was just like the whatever the compression or something like that. So I go to the fuel farm to use the eye wash. There's no solution in there. Oh. And I had already mentioned it to them before. Right. So by the time I go into the actual airport to go to the bathroom, the fuel is already dry. Oh, because Jet A is, very fine, high octane. Right. So there was that. So when I had the call with the owners of the company, they're like, "So tell us what happened." And I'm like, "All right, I'm going westbound." And again, I knew what I needed to say. And I told the HSA guy, and I was just like, "Yo, I'm going to throw you under the bus." Like, he's just like, "Do what you got to do." He's just like, "My wife just made principal and be a stay-at-home dad. Like, go ahead." Yeah. He's just like, "And you're right about everything." He's just like, "I've pushed for you to get these things." He's like, "But, say what you need to say." Yeah. I was like, "So I'm going westbound, going about 30." And they're like, 30? How are you going 30? Like, the trucks are supposed to have governors. So you're not supposed to go more than 5 miles an hour when you're close to the plains, and then on the outskirts, 10. So, like, how are you going 30 miles an hour? You're supposed to have governors. I'm like, "You're supposed to, but not all of our trucks have governors." And they're like, "Okay," and like made a note of that. And I was just like, and I'm on my cell phone. Yeah. Trying to do math. They're like, "Your personal cell phone?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I've asked for walkie-talkies. I've asked if they were going to pay my cell phone bill since I'm using it for work-related purposes." Right. And I was like, and they have always said no. So then they're like, "All right, something else." And then like, "Well, you heard it all." And I'm like, "Well, I hit my leg when I was, when I turned." Yeah. And they're like, "Well, why weren't you wearing your seatbelt?" And I was like, "Seatbelts? A lot of our trucks don't have seatbelts." Wow. And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "We don't have seatbelts. Some of our trucks don't have windows." I said, "We don't have eye solution." So everything that I could throw to take the blame off me, they were like, "All right." So at the end of the day, they're like, "Look, we're going to decide to amicably part ways. Do you agree?" And again, I didn't adhere to certain safety things. Okay. And it was 3,500 gallons of Jet A fuel. Jeez. And whatever damage that truck took. Right. And I remember I told them, I was like, "Yeah, man," I was just like, "Some of these trucks will electrocute you." I'm like, I go to do FedEx, the feeders, I go to pull the air brake, and it shocks me. Jeez. And I'm like, and then I would tell my supervisor, and I'm like, "Yo, like 58 or 49, like just shocked me." He'd be like, "So you don't want to fuel it?" And I'm like, "Are you retarded?" Yeah. And I'm like, sparks, jet fuel, fumes, kablooey. And I'm like, "No, I'm not fueling it." He'd be like, "Park it behind the hangar and then put a ticket in." All right, cool. So I'd park it behind the hangar, and then the next day I would work overtime. So I'd get there at 6. I know haven't been anybody there because I leave at 2, and then I get there at 6, and then just put it back on the line. Jeez. So they were like, "You're right. You also were, part to blame for this, but we're just going to decide to part ways." And I was like, "Cool." Yeah. That is wild. So then I talked to one of my buddies. He tattoos now. He's like, "Bro, remember when you flipped 58? I was like, he's like, "Dude, I would try to do that all the time in 133. And I'm like, and then from that, everybody got a raise afterwards.
Hey, Dulio, what should you say or not say to the officer if you're stopped?
Well, you should not say that you've been drinking or how much you've been drinking. Some people like to say, "I've only had a few beers." Don't do that. Just follow the commands that they ask you to do. Be courteous, be professional. Don't speak too much. Call an attorney.
have you grown into the role of what you're doing now? I mean, obviously you were super young when you first started and you felt some way about it, but now it's part of you. It's your life now, right?
It is. Some of the things that I tell my nephew or some people that are like younger when I do career days or when I go to schools and when I speak is I didn't grow up and be like, oh, I want to fix people's credit. That even when I did it, it was because I had to. It's just like, well, I'm not at the bank anymore. I know this. I have to do this.
Right.
Because again, I got bills to pay.
Yeah.
Right. And it was a necessity. And then I was just like, oh, like I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And then it's just like, oh, I actually enjoy this. So a lot of people tell me like, oh, you're really passionate about what you do, huh? Because I talk about credit all the time. And then I always want to help people. And to me I help by educating.
Yeah.
Right. So I can teach you what you need to do today. And if you do it tomorrow, you could be in a way different position. So that's what I like about it. Being able to put someone into a home. I called a lady yesterday and I was like, hey, good news. I was like, your credit went up 60 points, 58 points, and 72. Oh my God, Diego. She's like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, we got 2 collections removed. And then she's just like, oh my, like, what do you need me to do? What do you need? She's just like, I never thought that this would be a possibility to either improve my credit or to potentially own a home.
Right.
So some people who, again, I have clients, again, from kids who just mess up, they're 18, 19, who just mess up, to people who are 60, 70 years old trying to buy a house.
Wow.
And again, I was a business specialist. So if I can show you what you need to do so that you can use business lending instead of using your own money, it could be the world of a difference for somebody to, again, follow their passion, right? And if I can explain the difference between, hey, business loan works this way, it's a promise to pay, so the probability of you getting approved is very low. Interest rate, very high.
Yeah.
But if you want equipment financing, there's collateral.
Right.
Lower interest rate.
Right.
Higher probability of getting approved. Or, hey, you need a line of credit.
Yeah.
This is for cash flow and overhead.
Yeah.
This you use for points. And then, so if I can explain things to people and it makes sense, and I think I do a pretty good job at it.
So it's the legitimacy. It's you just helping people out and it's educating them because, I mean, there's no really, credit school or credit class in high school.
No.
So, you kind of just have to, why, that's my thing. Why isn't there a class on finance when there should be?
I think they have some now. My nephew was telling me, and I was just like, what are they teaching you though? And who's teaching it to you?
Yeah. Because when I was in school, there was no financial class. I mean, I think there was like a stock market class where they had like a fake, you can buy stocks, fake, and see how it worked. But there was no like, hey, this is how you can be financially responsible as an adult in Southern California or here in America or whatever. There was none of that.
That's why I try to go to schools and talk about what I do.
How's business going though? I mean, is it good?
Luckily, I would say 95 to like 99% of my business is referral based.
Nice. Well, that's a great thing.
So it is lenders, real estate agents. Again, so I have the opportunity to work with multiple people. I can work with multiple lenders. I can work with multiple real estate offices. So if you have a client that doesn't qualify, then you come to me. So there's multiple funnels and wells of people who refer to me, right? Wow. We have good reviews on Yelp and on Google.
Yeah.
So a lot
Are
of
people still going to Yelp? I feel like that's faded. Like I've deleted the app. I used to use it all the time, but it's gotten to the point to where I feel like, and this is me talking, not you, but I feel like they're like the mafia of like reviews because you got to now pay your way to get to the top of searches. Or, if you got to pay to make sure that the good reviews are there and not the bad reviews, like they'll bully these small companies if you don't make sure that they're taken care of in a weird way. And I hear that a lot from a lot of different small businesses.
They call me all the time asking me if I want to promote, if I want to do this. I'm like, I'm good, thank you. Don't need it.
Yeah.
Somebody found me on ChatGPT last month.
On ChatGPT? How did they find you on ChatGPT?
That's what I asked her. I said, what did you search?
Yeah.
And I was like, a handsome credit repairman? And then she's just like, well, I said that I wanted someone who worked hands-on, who was involved, who, blah, blah, blah. And she's just like, and then it, directed her to Yelp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. I wonder what it says about me if you type in. Wait.
You know what you should do?
Yeah.
Do you use ChatGPT?
Yeah.
So on the prompt, say, based on our conversations, describe me based on our conversations.
Yeah.
It's interesting what it says.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Oh, you have?
Yep, I've done that before. It's funny. It's kind of an ass kisser, isn't it?
I mean, I had Jorge do it.
Yeah.
I did it. I think it's pretty spot on.
It is pretty spot on. You're right. It's spot on, but I think for me, I got to be careful because sometimes I feel like it cheerleads me on a little bit too much. I got to be like, okay.
Be honest.
Yeah. No fluff, no BS. Come on now. But I love it. I do ChatGPT is like integrated in my life every day now.
It's such a good tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel it works best for you? In what way?
So I use it for different things. So I use it for house parties in the 90s.
Yeah.
Right. Create a contract between us and this venue, and it stipulates this, that.
Right.
Because then it'll give me all the necessary verbiage, and I'll just check and edit it as needed.
Yeah.
So it helps out a lot when it comes to contracts.
Okay.
It also helps with social media posts.
Right.
Write me a post for Prep Life's 10th annual Thanks for Giving event where they provide meals to 35 to 4,000, blah, blah, blah. Include hashtag, include emojis. So it's a tool. So I use it as a tool. And then, I mean, one of the things when I asked it that question, I read, right? So when I'm reading, I'm like, this word.
Yeah.
And then it'll, give me the, obviously the definition, interpretation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I use it for. Again, it's a tool.
You're able to bounce back and forth with it. Mm-hmm. And then you can learn some things that people won't tell you, but it will, and it's, God, I love it. I really do. And sometimes I'll even like bounce ideas. Like if it'll create an idea for me, I'll bounce between Gemini and Grok. So it's Google's version of
I thought you were talking about your astrological
Zodiac sign. No.
You're Two-Faced?
Yeah, exactly. ChatGPT's, there's ChatGPT, then there's Google Gemini, and then there's Grok, which is Twitter's, Elon
Musk.
And I tend to Grok is cool. I still feel like it's like a third base, when, ChatGPT is primary right now, for me. Yeah. Do you pay the monthly fee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Well, I needed to pay the monthly fee because I started using it to create images.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And it would only let you do either 3 or 5.
Yeah.
And I use those images to make some of the shirts that we make.
Okay.
To do stuff.
How are you liking these house parties in the 90s, man? So, I mean, like, where do you see it going in the next couple of years?
Man, I think it will eventually grow for us to do festivals.
Wow, really?
We've been presented with doing the Arizona State Fair, but it was too short of a time frame.
Okay.
They were like, hey, like next month. And we're like, hey, no, that's way too quick.
Yeah.
Right. But what we want to make sure that we do is, again, you said a keyword, nostalgia.
Yeah.
Right. So we want to provide that nostalgic feeling through music.
Yeah.
While at the same time highlighting our DJs.
Yeah.
Creating a platform for them.
Yeah.
So, they can, Cazelle, right?
Yeah.
One of our DJs, because I do follow-up calls with our DJs after the events. Hey, what did you think of the event? What do you think we could have changed? What do you think we could do better? Like feedback, good or bad, right?
Yeah.
And one of the guys was telling me, he's just like, bro, he's like, I saw Cazelle years ago.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him and I told him that I still had the flyer. And now he wants me to play at Soldies.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, again, that's what we want for our DJs.
Yeah.
We want to highlight them.
Yeah.
We want to get you more we want you to book more gigs. One, and again, not our DJ, but someone who, for example, our photographer, which is my cousin.
Yeah.
Because of house parties in the 90s, somebody saw her stuff on the page. She got a wedding after that.
Wow.
So we want to be able to make sure that we highlight.
Isn't that great when you do an event like this and you bring people together? It is community.
Yes.
And community is probably more important now than it ever has been in the last 2, 3, 4 decades.
And that's where it gives us a good, warm, fuzzy feeling inside.
Because even you, a lot of these jobs that you got since you were a kid, it was in network. From what I heard, you never actually went on Indeed.com or, went to some job fair.
No.
It was people that were in network, in your community.
Correct.
Even if the guy he didn't really know you or you knew him. These people who now have jobs, who are fathers and mothers and who have careers going in a house probably, they probably haven't gone out to a club dancing in a while, and you're bringing them back into it, but in a fun and positive way. And that was really cool because when I showed up to the event, the one in Studio City, it was a success, man. I mean, there was people everywhere. There was no empty spot on the dance floor. And what George said, what's unique about these events is if you go to a club like in Hollywood right now, you got the booths, the VIP booths, everybody's acting cool, right? But the dance floor, it's like, well, if you have a couple drinks, you can get out there and go. But no, almost everybody was on the dance floor at this event.
Yeah.
Everybody.
People come to dance, and people have told us that.
Yeah.
We had someone come the other day who I had talked to her like on TikTok a little bit. She was inquiring about the event, and she had gone to House of Madness, right? She hadn't been out in 15 years.
Wow.
Right? Hadn't gone out, hadn't been dancing, hadn't gone anywhere. And then she went to our event, and then she's just like, it was such a great time.
I feel like it's not only wanted, but it's needed. It's like a necessity almost at some point. It's good for mental health to get out there and sweat it out.
It's a good escape.
Yeah.
Right. I make fun of George because during one of our podcasts, I just thought it was a corny ass question. What does music mean to you? He asked somebody. I'm like, corny ass. But even like that phrase, music is life.
Right.
And it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Music can be very nostalgic.
Yeah.
So smell is one of the senses that triggers memory more than any other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, so is auditory. So, for example, if I hear Interpol,
right,
reminds me of 8th grade.
Okay.
Like freshman year, right?
Okay.
Joel introduced me to Interpol.
Right.
Getting ready in the mornings with Clear Ice Gel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Spiking up my hair.
Right.
Pablo Honey by Radiohead.
Okay.
Right? Morrissey, Vauxhall and I. Like all those songs take me back to a specific time.
Right.
Right. If I hear Lisa and Cult Jam, it literally takes me back to being 4 years old in my aunt's 1992 Nissan Sentra.
Okay. Yeah.
Super clean with her air freshener and her Aquanet hair, going to go get McDonald's. So creating that for people where you can just get a little bit of an escape, right? Life is hard. Life is very, very hard.
Yeah.
You have bills, you have family, you have all these things. You work during the week. Maybe you have a physical labor job and you're breaking your back every day. Or maybe you work in an office where you have that mental stress.
Right.
Right.
Well, let me ask you, what's been hard for you in your life? I mean, for me, it's for me, I've always set such a high bar for myself, Diego. And I don't know if you're like that, but what's been, for me, it's always been, my career, because I put so much heart and passion into it in what I do. And, I know what I was born with, and I need to let it out. I need to in some way and say, I'm going to. It's part of my blood. It's in my DNA. So for me, I've put a lot of emphasis on my career, and my career has kind of become my identity. So with, it's kind of hand in glove, no Morrissey pun intended. Mm-hmm. But, as, radio DJ, there's Freddy Rivera, the radio guy, and it's kind of been hand in hand with me. And I've learned as I've gotten older to disassociate in some ways for, positive, mental health reasons, but it's integrated into my personality at this point. Who I am, and I love it. It's not just the radio, but it's. I think for me, it's always been an identity issue. Has been one of the biggest challenges of my life. Identity, because when I lost everything, when I went into my exile, which was Dallas,
Elba.
Say it again.
Napoleon Bonaparte got exiled to Elba.
Right. A lot of great men in history have been exiled. Mm-hmm. It's like a very common theme. But, I learned that I can still survive without the career. I can still survive without the title, because it's in me. I mean, look what we built, here. And it's going to happen no matter. You're going to get a story from me some way, somehow. And we're going to talk,
Mm-hmm.
And, I gave the world my everything, my blood, sweat, and tears, sacrifices day and night, sacrifices that people didn't see. And I won. I hit every goal in life I hit and I checked off. Every goal, from the cutest girl in the world to the highest paying job to the pinnacle of where I wanted my career to be. I hit them all. And then dropped. And it's like, okay, well, gosh, is my life over? I hit everything. I did everything I wanted to do. What now? And for me, this is kind of like round two. And what I've learned is, no matter what no matter what life throws at me, I'm always going to fight and continue forward with the talent that I have. And it's not even a choice. It's just, it's automatic. I'm doing it. So for you, you're in your 30s now, but that's enough life. I mean, you've what have you found challenging in this life or in your life?
Questions like these.
Yeah, why?
Because I think to some people, maybe I'm annoyingly positive. You said you have a strength, right?
Yeah.
My strength is perspective.
Right.
Everybody goes through things, as have I.
Yeah.
Right. But I made the mistake one time. I was doing a personal development workshop.
Yeah.
Right. And the girl that I was dating at the time, she was part of the staff. And I remember just saying the phrase, it's like, I skate through life.
Yeah.
Because again, that's my perspective. So she would always use that like, oh, nothing's happening. You skate through life. And I'm like, no. Things happen to everybody.
Yeah.
Just my ability to manage them has allowed me to look at it in that fashion.
Right.
Right. It's my perspective. I've had challenges just like anybody else, but I always manage to escape unscathed.
Yeah.
Right. And that again has to do with my perspective. So it's just like, what's been challenging for you? Fucking nothing.
Right.
Because that's how I look at life. Right. Yeah. So, for example, a conversation that I had with my mom sometime last year.
Okay.
Right? So my parents have had some health issues in the last 2 years.
Wow.
A week after I bought my house and got keys, my dad had a heart attack and had quadruple bypass. Right.
Wow.
So dealing with that. And again, my parents live with me. So I'm the one who is sleeping with his door open, right, in case of anything. And then he had a difficult recovery, right, where he had a stroke almost like immediately afterwards, right? And then fast forward to 8-9 months later, then my mom gets diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my mom, and I remember we were in the garage, and I was just telling Mike about this story. So we're sitting there, and again, my mom thinks I'm oblivious. My mom thinks I'm living in La La Land. She thinks I'm lying to myself. And then she's telling me in Spanish, but obviously I was saying in English. She's like, all right, Mr. Positive. She's like, what's there to be positive about this? She's like, I think you lie to yourself. She's like, I think you're being dishonest. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then she's just like, what is good about what's happened? She's like, I went to get my mammogram. It came back questionable. She's like, I did a biopsy, questionable. She's like, we did a lumpectomy, questionable. She's like, and now I have to do chemo. What is there to be positive about?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so do you think I haven't thought of all the things that represent chemo or breast cancer? I was like, do you think I'm oblivious to that? I was like, I've never lived with anybody who has cancer who's gone through chemo.
Right.
Like, do you think I haven't pictured you weak, frail, losing your hair, shitting yourself, throwing up all over yourself? I was like, of course that's already gone through my brain. I was like, but why do I want to focus on that? And I'm like, I focus on, at least I bought the house.
Yeah.
And you live with me.
Right.
I said, who's going to clean you up if you shit yourself? I am. Who's going to cook your food? I am. Who's going to go with you to the doctor? I am. Who's going to take care of better? Who's going to take better care of you than me? Nobody. Mm-hmm. And again, no disrespect to my brothers or anything like that. We just have different temperaments, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just like, that's what I look at.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not going to, those feelings, those thoughts, they come in just like, again, you can't deny those things.
Right.
Why do I want to focus on it?
Right.
When I'm running, do you think these Chicken Littles don't hurt?
Yeah.
My little baby cows? You think my chest isn't on fire? Why do I want to focus on that?
Yeah.
As cheesy or as corny as it sounds, I think to myself, and I'm like, oh, that flower's about to bloom. It wasn't about to bloom yesterday, but now it is, and that's the magnolia. Yeah. I look at the sunset. I look at all the little things that I'm grateful for. There are people who can't run. Yeah. There are people who can't walk. Yeah. I love those two things, biking, walking, running. I like the cold wind on my face. Yeah. So I am very grateful for those things, and that's what I focus on. And just like anybody else, again, I'm not saying I don't have bad thoughts, but even when I walk or when I run, a lot of the times I use no music because I can't escape my thoughts. Yeah. I'm not going to distract myself with music or the beat or anything else. It's just like, again.
Did you feel like you were born with that sense of perception or did you have to learn it?
Both.
Tell me how you felt like you had to learn it.
I listen to a meditation every day. Every single day. Okay. Almost. I listen to two. Okay. Right? One is about intentions. Okay. Right? So again, this is a phrase that I had. It was so joyous being able to tell my mom this. Okay. Because it's something her grandma and her mom used to tell her. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Si tu mal tiene remedio, porque te preocupas.
What does that mean?
If your ailment or if your issue has a solution, right? Or has a remedy, why are you worried? And if it doesn't, why are you worried? Yeah. So my mom would tell me, she's like, oh, like the doctor said this and the doctor said that. I'd be like, okay. She'd be like, do you not understand what's going on? Yeah. And I'm like, what do you want me to do about it? Yeah. We'll see when we go on Tuesday. Relax.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
again, I'm not going to, and again, I have like the worry or like this or that.
Yeah.
But you and I think the girl was named Marissa, right? That you guys interviewed, the one who was in radio. She was wearing a black shirt.
Sabrina.
Sabrina.
Yeah.
You guys talked about Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
Right.
With Michelle. Yeah. Yeah.
So I've used that reference many times with my friends.
Okay.
Right. So he goes through the 7 layers of hell.
Yeah.
Right. And then I tell people, it's just like, again, you can't be oblivious. You can't lie to yourself and be like, no, everything's fine. Rose-colored glasses. No, he knows he's in hell. There's the ghouls. There's people hanging from trees. There's death. There's carnage. There's agony. There's pain. You can't say that you're at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
You're there. Why do you want to focus on it?
Right.
Why do you want to be like, oh, dang, like I can see his guts and I can see this. And it's just like, you're going through hell, whatever. Just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because again, eventually you're going to get out.
Right. Some people don't think they're going to get out. And I think sometimes that could be very dangerous.
Correct.
And untrue. Somebody, it's that saying somebody once said, it was Winston Churchill. Sir Winston Churchill said, if you think you're going through hell, keep going.
Correct. Again, that's always been my way of being. I've always been a happy-go-lucky kid, right?
Yeah.
My baseline is 8.
Yeah.
8.5.
Right.
I don't need drinks to get on the table and start dancing. I'm always pretty happy.
Yeah.
My mood is pretty static. You will never see me elated, right?
Yeah.
You could tell me, Diego, like, hey, you see that Audi outside, Diego? You can have it.
Yeah.
My reaction is always going to be the same.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
For real? Thank you. I'm not jumping for joy. I'm not doing cartwheels and I'm not doing backflips, right?
Yeah.
And there's been very few times that I've been sad or mad in my life. But again, just like anybody else. But my mood is pretty static.
Yeah.
Right? You will see me elated if I get to talk to my nieces. That's a noticeable thing. It's just like, oh, I got to Lawrence.
Yeah.
Right? But for the most part, I've always been a happy-go-lucky person.
Yeah.
Even though I've had some times where I'm not.
Yeah.
But that meditation, what it talks about is, again, intentions are the actions of life. And then again, pretty much what you can control.
Yeah.
So I've used this reference before. I don't think about the end goal, right? If I'm going from here to Mount Baldy, I'm not looking at Mount Baldy.
Yeah.
Because that meditation says like, well, if you do that and you're so focused on that goal, you may see something that is just as good or maybe even better, but you're so focused on that you're not going to pay attention to it.
Right.
Or what if when you get to Mount Baldy, the view isn't what you expected it to be?
That's a big possibility.
So I have a friend who, entrepreneur, he also business. So he understands, again, we business owners, we know the struggle of working for yourself, employees and all these different things. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, how's it going? And he would tell me, he's one of those like nose to the grindstone, like hustle, like doesn't matter. Yeah. And he was just like, dude, I just, you just got to trust the process. You just got to trust the process. And I'm like, I understand that. Have you thought about enjoying the process? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because what if you were doing all this work and then you get to that goal, that mountaintop, and it's not what you wanted? Was it worth it?
Right.
So I just focus on my feet in front of me. Yeah. What's my next step? Yeah. And I enjoy, again, the moment now.
Yeah. You're like that cartoon character that's walking and just whistling behind. Just like,
correct.
The good thing is that you know, if your parents are going through something, you're right there.
Yes.
You're close by. Mm-hmm. And you're able to, if something needs help, you help. If something needs fixing, you fix. And you're close by. And that in itself is a comfort though, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's, I've always told my parents, until I have kids, I'm going to take care of you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
And there's been times, I remember one time my mom was, again, I don't like her going upstairs, especially when she was doing chemo, stuff like that. But to me, I'm not going to tell you not to do something. I don't want to take away your autonomy. I don't want to take away your independence. Yeah. So I'm in my office and she comes in and I was just like, again, I do want to tell her, what are you doing up here? But I was just like, oh, okay. And then eventually when we were at the island, I had made food and she told me, she's like, I got kind of lightheaded, like going up and down the stairs. And I was just like, lady, like. Yeah. And then she's like, well, Diego, she's like, you've taken on so much. Yeah. She's just like, you carry a very big burden. Mm-hmm. She's just like, again, Jorge Miguel help, but you're the one who's picking up the brunt of the load.
Well, yeah, because you're always there. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And then she's just like, so I don't want to put more stress on you. Like, yeah. And I was just like, lady, if you want to take stress off me, give me more to do. Yeah. I was like, I already do your laundry anyways. Yeah. And I'm like, so give me more to do and that'll give me peace of mind. I said, I don't want you cooking at all. Yeah. I prefer I do all the cooking. And again, I would do most of the cooking, but I don't want to take away her autonomy or her independence. Yeah. So she's like, all right, fine, cook. But again, I would rather do it. And I said, if you want to take weight off of my load, And I said, give me more to do. I said, the physical stuff, I will do it. And I was just like, the emotional stuff, I'm like, that's how you can help me.
Yeah.
Her son, she doesn't want to see me struggle. She doesn't want this.
Yeah, of course.
And, and a lot of times she tells me, she's like, I don't believe you. She's just like, no te creo. And I'm like, don't believe me. And I'm like, that's fine.
Maybe she thinks like, maybe one day he's just going to let it all out. And, it's just because you're holding it in, maybe, and that, if you look at any of, the Marcus Aurelius, or even like the meditations of the Proverbs of Stoics. The Bible, or and it's always said, don't worry about tomorrow, don't harp on yesterday, worry about today and the 2 feet in front of you, and sometimes it takes people a lifetime to get to that point.
Correct. And that's where I remember sometimes again, because I do the adjacent to George.
Okay.
Right? Because he does loans and I do credit.
Yeah.
And then I'd be working on something or like whatever, or say like I had a presentation.
Okay.
And then I'd get home, again, when we used to live together. So I would finish, if it's the summer, I finish maybe around 7:30, 8, 15 minutes before sunset. Because I'm a basic bitch and I like sunset.
Yeah.
So I run or I bike, around like sunset time.
Yeah.
Right? And then I bike for an hour, or I'll run or I'll do whatever. And then I get home like 9:30, cook, take a shower. And my brother's just like, you got stuff to do, Diego. He's just like, you're always like biking or doing this or doing that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm still going to get that done. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right. And if I have to stay up late to do that, again, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to do this because it's a necessity for me.
Yeah.
Because it is my alone time.
Yeah.
It is where I think and reflect.
Right.
So one of the things that I would do is, again, I'm walking, biking, running, doesn't matter. One of the questions that I would ask myself is, are you being a good person? And are you providing value to the relationships that are important to you? Right? And this would be, again, I live with George. I work with George. When is the last time I checked in on George? You good? You need anything? Yeah, this, or like, well, whatever, right? And again, this is someone who I see all the time, but when is the last time that I really checked in on how he was?
Yeah.
My mom, my dad. And again, I go through my list.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I used to do is I would call my cousins, what's up, little Indian? Hey.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you up to?
Yeah.
How you been? And then I would talk to him for like 15, 20 minutes. One of my little cousins got mad at me one time. Because I had called her, and then she's like, I just don't understand. She's just like, sometimes you call, she's like, and then I'll talk to you for like an hour. She's like, and then you disappear for like 2 or 3 months. Like, why even call? Yeah. And then my aunt was just like, hey, relax. Like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, no, that's cool thing. I was like, yo, if you don't want me to call you, I won't.
Yeah.
And I was like, but this is me checking in.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, and again, she's a teenager at that time. And I was like, if you don't want me to check in, like, I won't.
Yeah.
And then she was just like, no, I mean, I guess it's fine. And I'm like, punk. But that was something that, again, my walks helped me out with. And again, even stuff with my parents, I'd be walking, and again, my dad had a heart attack, and then he was eating pupusas. So my reaction wasn't what it needed to be. And I would be like,
it's like came to the country in a pupusa.
So I'd be like, all right, I shouldn't have responded that way to my dad.
Right.
So then I get back from my walk, and I'm like, hey, sorry. This is, he's just like, no, I understand. He's like, I know you want what's best for me or whatever. I'm like, yeah I know, but I shouldn't be scolding you or, blah, blah, blah.
Isn't that weird? It's just frustrating sometimes, because now we're adults and sometimes we're trying to do the best thing for our parents, and it's wild. But I think they know that they know.
Oh, yeah.
They know. But of course, things get heated because we're human.
Yeah. And again, one of the things, so like my brother, again, we're different temperaments. He's like, you just got to let my dad do whatever he's going to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can rest easy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can sleep at night knowing that, my dad's going to do what he does. And I'm like, and I won't. Because I know that I sleep easy knowing that everything that I did within my power to try to help him, I did. Whether he gets annoyed at me or not.
Yeah.
But then eventually I had to tell my dad one time, and I asked him, I was just, and George was at my house. I was like, hey, 2 questions. I said, A, do you want me to help you? And I was like, and B, if so, how? Because what I've been trying isn't working. Right. And again, this was, I had to learn, because in the beginning I would scold him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, oh, what I'll do is when my dad is making shitty food, I'll just start cooking. And then, because my dad doesn't like to cook, he'll just take what because my dad doesn't like people doing things for him subconsciously.
Right.
Like, no. So then it was just like, all right, I tried this way, I tried that way, I tried this way. And I'm like,
Yeah.
So then I finally got to the point where it's just like, all right, I am going to make food. It's going to be healthy. There's going to be the options there. And if he takes it, he takes it. And if he doesn't, he doesn't.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
Right.
But it took me a while to get to that and to be able to maneuver to be able to get to that. And again,
find that rhythm that works.
And then, because again, I was just like, do you want me to? He's just like this is fine.
Yeah.
Right? He's just like this.
Yeah.
And I was just like, so like if you're doing something that
Yeah.
you shouldn't be doing, I was like, I'm just going to do this. And then you make your decision.
You guys kind of created your own language with each other.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way.
I took a effective communication workshop with my mom. So
Oh, nice. Nice.
it has definitely helped. And I'm not perfect at it.
Yeah.
But I know how I need to talk to George.
Mm-hmm.
I know how I need to talk to Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I know how I need to talk to Miguel, or I'm sorry, to my mom or to my dad.
Yeah.
Right. And I know that there may be times where it's just like, well, why do you have to walk around in eggshells? Or why do you got to accommodate somebody else? Why can't you just be yourself? My mom told me that one time about my dad. And I'm like, again, if you already know how he is or you know his reactions, like, why do you let it bother you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she's like, well, I got to walk around in eggshells around your dad?
Yeah.
And I'm like, ¿a quién le pesa? Like, again, who's going to benefit from it or not?
Right.
Just like, again, it's not like you're changing for them, but at the same time you are. Like, what does it even matter? Again, you're changing your tone or you're saying something a little bit different. Like, if it's...
I think everybody does, though. They do that, though, don't they?
Correct.
Like, I like the way I would talk to my grandmother is not the way I would talk to, Lewis hanging out at the nightclub or, talking to my dad versus talking to a coworker. It's not that we change who we are. It's that sometimes, finding that middle ground to speak that person's language is beneficial for both, and there's a way to accept that person where they can accept you and there's that common ground. But yeah, the way I talk to my parents too, it's, they get a different side of Freddy that maybe a lot of people don't see, maybe you still have those special moments that, you don't really talk to people about, like with my mom, the way I'll just act, a certain way. And I carry that with me to this very day. Only we know that, You know what I'm saying? But those are the special things. Those are the special cool things that, that we have.
One of the things that really helped me, especially with both of my parents, is I started thinking to myself, I want to talk to my niece like this, right? At 8 years old, at 12 years old, whatever age they are.
Yeah.
So one of the things that helped me is I started to picture my parents as kids.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And knowing because I know everything about my parents.
Yeah.
Everything. I know everything that my dad went through. I know everything that my mom went through. So knowing how difficult their life was just like, how would I talk to my 12-year-old dad? Because my dad lost his dad when he was 12 years old.
Okay.
So if, again, Jorge had a kid and he was 12 years old and he was eating a pupusa when he shouldn't be eating a pupusa, I'd be like, hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Again, I wouldn't talk like that. Some people would. Right? They're a little bit more direct. But I'd be like, yo, little Indian, you think you should be doing that?
The next time you come into the studio, we're going to roll you in as a pupusa, okay?
Yeah, dude. I'll come in here with curtido and salsa all over me. But it helped me a lot to understand that I know everything about them.
Right.
And how difficult their life was.
Yeah.
And again, I don't talk to them as they were kids or as I'm the adult and you're a kid and I'm taking care of you.
Right.
I just talk at to the child that I want to be able to communicate for something that is, again, in, I think, a general consensus for the greater good. Right. That helped me a lot.
Life is so fast right now. And, these are great talks because, I have to remember, I got to spend more quality time with my parents. I do. I really do. I guess I never asked my mom, like, are you okay? How's everything going? Then there's also the flip side of, Hispanic, parents are, everything's fine. Don't worry about nothing. I'm not going to tell you nothing, it's.
And that's the duality between my parents, right? So like my mom, after chemo, she wasn't tired. She was acelerada. Mm-hmm. So we would stay up until 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock talking. Yeah. Right. And then after like 6 hours, I'd be like, all right, your therapy session's done. Get out of here. I'm trying to watch a movie. Right. Yeah. But we would talk. And again, different level of conversation. Right. And with my dad. Yeah. Right. But my dad, he walks almost every day. So I'd be like, ¿va a caminar? And I was like, sí. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go with you. Yeah. Or sometimes he'd ask me. And then I let him talk however he wants to talk, which is always about El Salvador. Yeah. It's always about the soccer team. Yeah. And it's about the land that we have out there and the trees and the coconuts that he's planting. So it's just like, that's what he wants to talk about, right? Again, my mom's and I's different type of conversations.
Coconuts.
Dude, my dad's, he loves coconuts. But I allow him to express himself how he wants.
Right.
And it's funny because, again, I like stories, right? One of my tattoos says, Grandpa, tell me a story. That's why I read a lot. That's why I like movies.
Yeah.
Again, my grandpa, my uncle, my dad.
Remind me, we need to trade book titles after this. So okay.
I just bought like 10 books.
Yeah. And movies. We can continue.
I got you.
Yeah.
So sometimes my dad will be telling me a story and I'm like, oh, chamba. He's just like, I'm like, yeah, I've heard this story 1,000 times, but I'm not going to stop him.
Right.
And I'll hear it 1,000 more because I love spending time with my dad and I love hearing those stories. And I actually want to, I do have plans, and I've written some short stories in Spanish and in English about my parents, on how they met and about our family and certain things.
Well, that's cool. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, man, I was surprised how my uncle responded to it when I showed him. My aunt teared up a little bit.
Yeah.
When she read what I wrote.
Yeah.
Because apparently I write just like my grandpa.
Oh.
And then he's just like, he even told my mom, he's just like, this story's about you guys. And she was just like, yeah. And then he's just like, did your dad write this? And then my mom's like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. He took my iPhone and went to my notes app and wrote it. And then he's just like, you wrote this? And I was just like, yeah. And then my aunt's just like, let me see.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, obviously I knew that my grandpa wrote a lot of poetry. I have one of his poetry books, but I can't read that full writing. Right. So I don't know his style.
Right.
Of writing, but apparently I write very similar. Yeah. And again, he's not even blood related. He's my mom's stepdad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he's the one, he told me, he's like, send it to me. He's just like, and keep writing. So I like stories.
Yeah.
And that comes a lot from my dad.
Yeah.
Right. Again, I know a lot about El Salvador. I know a lot about the Civil War, and I know when they assassinated the priest, and when they did this, and when they did that, and Roque Dalton, and all these like different things because of my dad.
Yeah. So
I will listen to his stories every single time with open ears.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I remember a memory that I don't tell everybody, but now that we're talking about it, one of the memories I had with my dad is we would always watch movies together. That was our common denominator, Cool movies too, because I remember when I was a kid, the first rated R movie I ever saw, Terminator 2. Oh no, it was the first Terminator. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I think we rented a Palm Springs home one time, and my mom was like, why are you letting him watch this? And I was like, oh, no, please, let me finish the movie. And, me and my dad just loved Al Pacino, the Goodfellas, all the mafia movies.
So my friends like to talk shit, and they say, when they talk about a movie, they're like, well, movie critic Diego over here. And I'm like, that's just how I like movies.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
that's just my taste. When it comes to taste, it's subjective, right? Like I took world cinema and American cinema when I went to college.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Did they have you watch all the great films?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So like, it's funny because on my niece's birthday, she's an avid reader, just like I am.
Okay.
So I was just like, yo, any books that you want? And again, I'll send her books that I read or things that I like, or she'll make a list. And I'll buy 2 books, one for me, one for her.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about movies. Yeah. Right? And she was talking about 400 Blows. And I was just like,
yeah.
Oh, shit,
okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, old 1950s like French movie.
French film, yeah.
And then she went after like a couple like more French films, and I was just like, oh, like, okay, you like film, you like cinema. And I'm like, I took classes. And again, we were talking about the original Nosferatu, right?
Yes,
and I was just like, hey, did you know that that's one of the first movies to use like special effects? And I'm like, when the horse cart is like coming down the mountain, I was like, he cranked the camera really, really fast so that when you played it, it looked like it was sped up. And I was like, and that freaked people out because it was 1927.
I have to give you credit because knowing the original Nosferatu, but wasn't that, for being a silent film and as old as it is, wasn't it kind of scary?
Dude, it's creepy.
Yeah.
It was shot very, very well. And,
Yeah.
And so when I watch movies, I was just telling my friend about this the other day. Like, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at angles.
Yeah.
I'm looking at how you shot something. I'm listening to the score. I'm listening. So again, my criteria for movies, I don't think it's hard, but if it's acted well, shot well, directed well, written well, with a good storyline and good dialogue, I'm in. Like, if you ask me my favorite movie, obviously I have a go-to.
Yeah, you asked me mine, so I want to hear yours.
Rocky.
That's right. We talked about this at that cafe in Rancho.
Yeah.
Right. So hold on. Tell me why you love Rocky. That is your favorite film of all time.
So first of all, I think that is misunderstood. Right? People think it's a boxing movie, right? Or it's a movie about boxing. It has boxing in it, but it's a love story, right? It's a love story between Rocky and Adrian. There's a guy who happens to be a boxer, but not really. He's a loan shark, right? And he is just trying to get at Adrian. What does he say at the end of the film? Adrian.
Yeah.
Adrian. And again, there's more to it. But again, that whole movie is him trying to talk to the shy girl. He literally makes up a joke every single day. And he goes in there and he tries to talk to her. And she's so like meek and shy. And she's just like, like flustered. Dude, there's one part of the movie where he goes like 3 minutes where he tells her, he's just like, pretty cold out tonight, huh? He's just like, yeah, you got someone to walk you home. And she's just doing stuff. He's just like, well, they got a game down at the Spectrum. Would you want to go to the Spectrum? And she doesn't say anything. And then he just keeps on talking and talking. And then at the very end, he's just like, okay, I'll go home now. Make up a new joke. I'll have a joke for you tomorrow. Good night, Adrian. Good night, Rock. So it is just him literally making up jokes, trying to get at this girl who isn't giving him any play because she's so weird and awkward and shy.
Yeah.
And again, he happens to be a boxer. The beginning scene of that movie tells you everything you need to know. You're a bum. You're a bum. You're a bum, Rock. They're throwing popcorn. He's getting his ass beat for $8.20 after tax, locker, and all that. He obviously doesn't take it seriously. He's drinking a beer. He's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
And then when he gets back to his shitty apartment, there's a really good cut. So they show him as a little kid in a black and white picture.
Okay.
And there's like a perfect split in the screen. And you see the little kid here, the innocent little kid. And then you see him and his eyes cut and it's all bloody and he's all beat up to the man that he became.
Okay.
So the ability for Rocky to then have an opportunity and all he wants to do is prove it to himself.
Yeah.
He's just not another bum off the street, right? Yeah. Nobody's gone the distance. He doesn't want to win the fight. He just wants to prove it to himself that he's just not another bum off the street.
Yeah.
And then it goes into perseverance. And then the relationship that he has with Mickey that bleeds into the second and then the third one.
Yeah.
It's shot well. It's acted well. It has really good dialogue. Again, it has everything that I want and that I need. And then plus the story of how that movie came about. He wrote it in like 10
the
days.
way you put it, man, I got to watch that movie again. It's been a long time since I've seen the original Rocky.
Dude, there's one scene, and again, just as my perspective on it. I don't know if it was shot like this on purpose, but there's a part where they say, Apollo Creed wants to talk to you. So he goes into like the promoter's office.
Uh-huh.
And he's sitting down. So you're the promoter, and the promoter has those eyebrows that look like this.
Yeah.
And he has that big old smile.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
He says, Rocky, how would you like to fight Apollo Creed for
That's
the
good.
world title? And then, I don't know if you remember like Tom and Jerry cartoons where they have the good and the bad.
Yeah, the angel or whatever. Yeah.
Correct. So the way that they shoot that scene, in part, they show the guy, they show his face. And again, he looks like antagonist. He looks like a bad guy, right?
Yeah.
And then you see Rocky and he's like this. And coincidentally, right over his right shoulder is where you see the guy. You could have shot it from any other angle, but it looks like the little devil on your right shoulder.
Right.
And then he asks him, how would you like to fight, for the world title? And he's like, no. And then they zoom in on Rocky. And they're like, I don't think you understand. So, again, it's that little thing. And I'm like, did they do that on purpose?
Yeah.
Did they cast that guy who looks like that and who has that voice and seems like mischievous?
Yeah.
And put him over his right shoulder like the good angel, bad angel type thing?
When we put this reel out, I'm going to put the clip over it.
Oh,
so
do it.
Yeah. That's excellent. Wow. I got to see that movie again.
Yeah, man. I think it's a really good story that, again, then bleeds into perseverance and it bleeds into overcoming
There is a sense of
challenges.
spirituality in that film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because of See, and that's kind of why I was drawn to La Dolce Vita, because in the film, he has all these women and everything, and as he ages and gets older, it becomes so empty of a life, and he finally meets this girl that represents innocence. So there's the devil in Rocky, the promoter. In La Dolce Vita, there's this young girl who represents innocence. Says, hey, listen, I just want to get married and just settle down and have a very easy, content life. And then there's a scene where he's on the beach and he's been drinking all night at this party. And now the party's turning into the morning. Sunlight's starting to come up on the beach, and she's waving at him. They've met before, but he can't remember who she is. because he's so faded. And he's in a suit, and the rest of the party and all the crazy girls and everything, they're like, come on, Marcello, let's go back. And he's like,
that's my middle name.
Yeah, is it really? Marcello? Marcello, no kidding.
Two also.
That's wild. You got to watch
So I'm that guy.
You got to watch this movie.
I'm going to watch it this weekend.
You got to watch this movie. It's in Italian, but I know you'll appreciate it.
There's a lot of the times with a good director or a good movie, there's more going on than what you see.
Exactly. And then sometimes you can see yourself in the character or see yourself in the film. We'll trade movie notes after the show because there's, while I was working part-time at GGI, I think during my 20s, I think I saw every film that you can imagine.
So there's one of the things where people will ask me, like, what do I like to do on the weekends?
Yeah.
And I'm like, my days are pretty much the same, whether it's the weekend or whether it's the weekday.
Yeah.
But there are times where I will watch a movie at night. Right now, I've been reading Steppenwolf, so I've been doing that at nighttime. Uh-huh. But movie a day, 2 movies a day.
That's what I used to do. Yeah.
Like I like snacks and I like movies.
Yeah.
So I will, and I started to go back through some of like the cult classics, right? And let me rewatch it, or movies that I never saw.
Yeah.
And let me see if I have a different perspective, or let me see if I take them in like.
And sometimes you do have a different perspective. As you age, you have a different perspective.
And it's just like, oh, I didn't even know. Again, like this foreshadowing, or again, you rewatch a movie, and it's like all these hidden layers that a movie can have,
right?
And movies that missed the mark but had all the tools necessary piss me off. It's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
man? Like you have the storyline, you have the actors, but you shot it incorrectly.
Have you ever seen Amadeus?
No.
Okay. When you look at the trailer, and every time I've been on a date or I had a girlfriend, this is like the one movie I always show because it looks like a drama film, like with the white wigs.
Yeah.
And to me, I would never want to put myself through a movie like that. It just looks boring. It's just way too old, and I wouldn't do that. But I don't know how I saw this film, and it's good. And I'll tell you right now, it's the ultimate film about a man's jealousy. I mean, and not surface level jealousy. It gets to the gut inside of really how it feels. It's such a great film. And I'll let you discover it because it's a great movie. Okay, so you said you read a lot of books. Let's start with your favorite, and I want to go into the other ones you're into.
The Outsiders is one of my favorite books because that just reminded me of me and my brothers. Growing up. Lord of the Flies is one of my favorite books.
That book, wild,
dude. So you're familiar with the story, right?
Yeah.
So, do you speak Spanish?
Nah, a little bit. No.
But you'll watch a Spanish movie.
Yes.
Watch Monos. Okay.
Yeah,
it's on HBO.
Okay.
It might still be on there.
Okay.
It is like a modern day Lord of the Flies. And I remember I was watching it. I just came across it. Sometimes I'll watch something without watching the preview.
Yeah.
Or read the synopsis.
Yeah.
But I was watching and I was like, dude, this is a lot like
You said it's on
where? HBO Max.
I have HBO Max. Good.
Dude.
Good. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? As soon as...
sorry to cut you off.
No worries. Yeah.
Something for you.
Oh.
So, I don't know what size you are, but I bought one. And then again, this is the smallest size we had. So
awesome.
Hopefully that
fits
you.
Yeah,
I don't know if you want that one or...
Dude, I was going to ask, when can I have a house parties in a 90s t-shirt?
Or
again, awesome. Thank you.
The event that you were at, if you want.
This is so freaking cool. Because this is the kind of shirt that I would want to wear, but I think I would also want to frame with a photo of us there.
Oh yeah.
And put it right here in the hallway.
Oh, that'd be dope.
That's what I would. I with one of these shirts, I think this one because I hosted this.
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Oh, man, and again, thank you for having me, man. I had a really good time.
I gotta get photos, some kind of content from George, from you guys.
From the event?
Yeah, from that event. Yeah, if I find a good still or something like that, and that way I can put together like a little frame.
Yeah.
And by the way, throughout the social media, if they're not following you guys right now, where can they follow you?
So Southpaw Bill, that's George, Miguel, Rocky, and I. But they're all pretty much just all of us. So Southpaw Bill, house parties in the 90s.
Right.
My Instagram is Diego Merlos, but a 1 instead of an I.
Okay.
Then George Merlos or Jorge Merlos. Rocky, I think, is RDFORM, RD Form, I think, 84. On YouTube, it is Southpaw Bill or Southpaw Boys. And I'm sorry, TikTok again, same username for me, Diego Merlos, 1 instead of the I, and then George's Southpaw Bill on TikTok.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah,
Everybody, that's the unit.
yeah, it's the unit.
That's the crew.
That's the crew. That's
Diego,
it, baby.
thanks for driving down in the rain to be here, man. I appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
man.
Hope
I had
you
a really good time.
I'm glad.
Absolutely, dude.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'll be texting you later on with some
Yeah,
titles.
dude, I want those and a selfie.